I'm Christine Waltermeyer, and today we're going to be making a 3-bean salad. This is a classic at summer picnics. We're making it a little bit different today by adding some carrots. It adds color, beauty, and a little extra vitamin A, which can't hurt. So let's walk through all of our delicious ingredients. We have here, of course, green beans. You got to include those in 3-bean salad. We also have some celery, some carrots, a little bit of fresh parsley, some red onion, and we've got our 3 different variety of beans here. I'm using canned beans. These are the Eden brand beans, and I love Eden for all of their different food products, but especially for their beans. They're the only bean on the market, as far as I know, that's cooked with a seaweed known as kombu. Kombu is a nourishing sea vegetable which not only boosts the nutrition of these beans, it makes them more digestible. So we've got a combination here of some garbanzo beans, also known as chickpeas, some black beans, and some kidney beans. Now, black bean is a little bit of a different ingredient. Typically, you use cannellini beans or some type of white bean in a classic 3-bean salad, but we're making ours a little bit different today. So there we go, that's our combination of beans. Let's look at what ingredients we're going to be using in our dressing. I like a combination of sweet and sour dressings that are going to combine together so nicely. So we're using some dried herbs. We're using some dried oregano, a half teaspoon of dried garlic powder. We're also using a 1/4 cup of olive oil. This is the 365 brand. I really like Whole Foods 365 line. It's very economical and great quality. Then we're using a couple tablespoons of some soy sauce. You can use tamari, especially if you're gluten-free, or you can use shoyu soy sauce, but try to get one that's organic. I'm a big fan of organic ingredients. And then we have a couple tablespoons of maple syrup. You can use different types of sweeteners here. That's the one I'm choosing for today. I've also got some mustard. This is another real high quality product from the Eden Company. I just love the Eden brand as far as their high quality ingredients that they use in all of their products. Okay, so here I've pre-cut our vegetables. I've diced up our celery. This is 2 stalks of celery diced. I have about a half of a small red onion, which also kind of works out to be around half a cup of diced red onion. Then I have 1 cup of green beans. I've trimmed the ends and I've cut these into little 1-inch pieces. I also have 1 cup of carrot matchsticks, and I'm going to show you an easy way to make matchsticks that you're going to really enjoy. I also have a 1/4 cup of chopped fresh parsley. So let me show you that fun way to cut carrot matchsticks. I have a carrot here. This is organic. I did peel it, even though a lot of the nutrients are in the skin layer of organic carrots. You can either scrub them really well, or in this case I peeled it just to avoid a bitter taste from the skin. I'm going to take my nice sharp ceramic knife, and I'm going to hold my carrot with my safe hand hold. You want to curl your fingers under like piano fingers for the cutting. Then I'm going to hold my knife the proper way with my thumb and forefinger on the end of the blade, and then I'm going to start slicing diagonally. So I'm keeping the tip of my knife anchored on the board, and I'm slicing forward and down to make very thin little panels. And take your time doing this. In the beginning, if you're not used to cutting vegetables, I say go slow and make sure you master the technique rather than trying to go fast and then goof it up or cut yourself. So then once I have all my nice thin slices here, and these are really thin slices, but you don't have to get them that thin, but these are about 1/8 of an inch thick or 1/16 of an inch even. So now that I have my nice little fanned out deck of cards, carrot cards, I'm going to slice vertically, holding on with my little piano fingers, and then I'm sort of walking my fingers backwards as I'm slicing up through. I always tell people this is a fun little party trick. You're going to impress your friends and family with your cutting skills. So then you can see that as you're doing this, you're getting beautiful little perfect matchsticks. This is just one way to achieve matchsticks. There are other ways, but this is really a fun way. You can also, if you're not into the whole matchsticking process, that's fine. You can also coarsely grate these on a box grater, or you can put them through a food processor to make it super easy and just use the grating blade. That works too. So the next step is to marinate your onion. I've already diced my red onion, and a lot of people find that raw red onion has a strong bite to it. You may or may not enjoy that. If you're like me and you want to mellow it out a little bit, I marinate it ahead of time with my vinegar. So Eden makes a great umi plum vinegar. If you've never heard of it, they sell it at health food stores, and it's just got a wonderful flavor. It's not only sour, but it's also salty. So it adds a unique taste, and so I'm going to use a little bit of this. If you can't find this at your local health food store, you can always just use regular vinegar. Apple cider vinegar works, or even a vinegar like this. This is also an Eden product. It's organic brown rice vinegar. It's a very nice mild vinegar, so you can use that too. What the heck, I'm going to add a little sprinkle of both vinegars. I'm adding about a tablespoon of each vinegar. So you want 2 tablespoons of vinegar and then even a few pinches of salt. Now, as I said, the umi vinegar is a little salty already, so I don't need too much. If I wasn't using that particular vinegar, you could go ahead and up the salt and add more, like instead of a few pinches, you could add maybe a half teaspoon of sea salt. And what that does is it's going to help to really just break this down a little bit. It's almost like a light form of pickling, and it helps to make it a little less spicy, if you will. So it actually ends up making it a little bit sweet. And we're going to let this sit for maybe, I don't know, 5–10 minutes while we prepare the other parts of the recipe. So for the green beans and the carrots, we want to blanch them. Blanching is simply a process of dropping raw vegetables into boiling water to help to tenderize them. It's a little bit along the lines of steaming, but we're doing a quick boil process here. So I've got boiling water in this pan. Now I'm going to add a little pinch of our 365 brand sea salt. Then I'm going to go ahead and drop my carrot matchsticks into the boiling water. You don't need to let these cook very long, really a minute or less. What I have ready in the meantime is a strainer and a bowl to catch the water. This is a little instrument that helps to get the vegetables out of the water. You can also use any slotted spoon, but I happen to like this. Sometimes they're known as a spider or just fine mesh strainer spoon. Now at this point your vegetables are nice and hot, so you're going to let the water drain off of them, and if you want to cool them down quickly, you can run them under cold water, or you can even dip them in an ice bath like we're going to do. An ice bath is simply a bowl of water with ice in it. It's very cold water, and then when you take your carrots or whatever vegetable you've cooked in the boiling water and you dip it in there for a little while, it just cools it right down. So now we've got these beautiful, perfectly cooked carrots. I'm going to put them in the bowl to just drain them off, and we're going to repeat this exact same process with our green beans. You know, if you really want to get creative and add other kinds of vegetables that you like to a salad like this, for example, corn, feel free. It just makes it more colorful, more fun and tasty, and I love when you make creative additions like that to any recipe. Now, green beans are a little thicker than our carrot matchsticks, so they might take a little bit longer to cook. Let's let those cook for, I'd say, more like 2 minutes, just to make sure they're nice and tender. By the way, in the beginning I mentioned that what I love about Eden beans is that they are cooked with a sea vegetable called kombu. Eden actually sells this sea vegetable on its own. So if you're like me and you sometimes like to make your own beans from scratch using dried beans, which I do recommend, it's very economical and easy to do, an ingredient like this is going to make them more digestible and even more tasty. A lot of people don't know, but this particular sea vegetable, kombu, contains something called glutamic acid. Glutamic acid is a natural form of something like MSG. I also want to mention that Eden produces foods like these dried cherries. These go great in trail mix or on top of your morning oatmeal. So I really encourage you to check out Eden as a company. They have a really varied array of different products, including maitake and shiitake mushrooms and things that are going to be really great to stock your pantry with. Our green beans are done. Let's take those out with our nice slotted spoon, and we're going to put them in our strainer. And just like we did with the carrots, we're going to dip them in our ice bath. This cools them down quickly, especially if you're making a last-minute dish for that summer picnic and you got to get out the door sooner than later. Okay, in they go to the ice bath. And you just let them sit in there for a few seconds. It just cools them right down. And again, once they've had their dunk in the ice bath, we're going to just let them drain off. And we're going to set them aside while we prepare the other salad ingredients. So now let's put together our delicious dressing. We're combining some sour, sweet, salty elements to make a nice balanced taste. Here's our 1/4 cup of olive oil, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, or if you don't like soy sauce, you can use about a 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt. I'm using 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, or you could use a couple teaspoons of regular sugar or unrefined sugar. Here's our dried herbs, a 1/2 teaspoon of garlic granules and a 1/2 teaspoon of dried oregano. Or you could use Italian seasonings. As you can see, I like options. I like being flexible with recipes. Here's a couple tablespoons of our nice mustard. Last but not least, here's our marinating onions. These have been sitting for about 5 to 10 minutes to mellow them out. We're going to go ahead and add this to our dressing. Using a little whisk, I'm just going to blend that all together. So this is the fun part where it all comes together. We're going to combine our 3 different canned beans along with our 1/2 cup of celery, 1/4 cup of parsley, the blanched carrot, and our blanched green beans. Now we're going to toss it together with our dressing. This smells so good. And then just gently toss them together. This is just so pretty and so popular at summer gatherings. It's a real crowd pleaser. Did you know what food is higher in antioxidants than wild blueberries? Red beans. So there you go, we're having an antioxidant-rich dish that everyone will love. So our 3-bean salad is finished and ready to go. This looks amazing. I can't wait to dive into it. Your friends and family are going to love it. I want to thank Whole Foods for the 365 brands that I used today, as well as the Eden Food Company. I love their products. I know you're going to enjoy them too, and this is just one example how you can take all these wonderful organic ingredients and combine them into a family-friendly dish. Enjoy your summer gatherings and enjoy this 3-bean salad.